Thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat upon them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire and smoke and brimstone. I remember I used to watch a television program on Sunday nights, and that's all they talked about was Revelations, and they would show pictures of these. I think maybe I even ordered a pamphlet of theirs or something. But anyway, uh, that would be nice to have an image, show you an image at this point of that. But I think your mind is pretty good at doing that. By these three was the third part of men killed by fire. And so Daryl has fire underscored, and and Daryl has this underscored smoke. And Daryl has this underscored brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. Revelations chapter 9, verse 17 and 18. And the Megaeus Absurdus translation, and thus after this manner I saw the horses in my vision, and those that sat upon them have breastplates as of fire, fiery red, and hyacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths proceeded fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three plagues was the third of men killed, by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone that proceeded out of their mouths. Many suppose that these to be tanks. How do they know that the tanks will be used in the Great Tribulation period? We are talking about a period that is in the future. Modern tanks reveal that this may well be, but I have a notion that they are going to have something more refined and sophisticated in that period. And this kind of brings back to memory, the speculation. It's interesting. My boss at Lexington Recycling was in the reserves, and he was in the cavalry. That does not mean that he rode a horse. It means that he was in the tank unit. So that's kind of an interesting thought. And so then you have. I was also thinking about the locust. It has become very popular today to use drones. Uh, and so drones have become the weapon of war now, more so than helicopters, because they can release 1,000 drones. I guess you can release, you know, now, then hundreds of thousands of drones on people. But anyway, could just be it is a insect that is created for that purpose. How about that? So Daryl continues underscores this anyway. The horse is the animal of war. See Job chapter 39, verse 19 through 25. And he continues underscoring here. The underworld is now making war on mankind. He continues underscoring here. That's for another reason. See, the God wouldn't let them die, so the devil takes it in his own hands and destroys them. So I don't think the devil wants to keep people alive. So these creatures from the underworld are unnatural. Daryl continues underscoring here. They are probably demons or demon controlled. We are given a literal description of them. In his book on Revelations, William R. Newell makes this very timely observation. Believe, and you scarcely need any comment. The problem with men who come to Revelation and say that it is difficult to understand and impossible to interpret, is that they do not believe it. If you simply believe it and read it, it is very clear that hellish forces will be at work during this period. Darrell underscores this. These three plagues mentioned here are literal plagues. The fire is literal, the smoke is literal, and the brimstone is literal. The same thing took place at the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Darrell had that underscored. I believe, and Darrell has this underscored, this world during the Great Tribulation period will actually be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. People talk about homosexuality attaining respectability in our day. Well, it has the uh, it was the accepted lifestyle in Sodom and Gomorrah. But homosexuals went out of business. God put them out of business. If you think God is going to permit mankind to go into eternity and unnatural creature, you are wrong. Darrell has underscores this. At this point, 1/3 of the population is killed, and so that makes a total of what is that? 75% are dead at this point. And he continues underscoring here 1/3 of nature had already been affected. But mankind has not been touched with judgment of this magnitude. See if I can read Darrell's writing. He has a note up at the top of the page. And I don't think I can make it out. See if I set up two Bibles. Let's see. It seemed 1.5 Bible. Oh, okay. He's probably trying to calculate how many died up there. But anyway, I can't read it. Oh, okay. It's down here. 2 billion. 2 billion. Because if the population of the world were 1.5 billion, this would mean that 500 million would be slain. So 2 billion. I guess it seems 1.5 billion, 1.5 soon. What I think what he was trying to say is we have. I'm thinking we're up to 4 billion now. Is that how many? 4 or 5 billion are in the world? Maybe 7. But probably the time that Darrell studied this, it was 2 billion. That's what he was trying to put it in context. But anyway, remember that, and so Darrell underscores this: one part had been slain under the fourth seal. This terrible decimation of the Earth's population seems unconscious that all the Earth until the atomic bomb fell from Hiroshima. So I guess this is an additional third. We're still at 7/12 of the population total have been killed. So since then, man have been using more frightening language than that of Revelations. They now, Darrell has this scored, talk of the total decimation of the earth's inhabitants. And he continues underscoring here, but the Lord Jesus said that he will not permit it. Except these days had been shortened, there should be no flesh saved. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22. And he has this underscored: human race would commit suicide if it could. Verse 19. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were likened to serpents, and their heads, and with them they do hurt. Revelations chapter 9 and verse 19. And uh, uh, the Megaeus Absurdus translation is for the power of the horses is in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails are like serpents, having heads, and by them they hurt. Daryl has this underscored. They are unnatural horses which are able to kill with their mouths. Daryl continues underscoring here the weirdest fact of all is that instead of a horse's hair for tails, they have scorpions, which are also used to destroy mankind.